This program is made possible through the financial support of Indiana Public Broadcasting Stations.
Welcome, everyone. Kevin. This is a terrific turnout. Welcome to the 2020 State of Higher Education Address. My name's Al Hubbard. I'm honored to be the chair of the Commission for Higher Ed this year. Let me first start by thanking the employees of the State House for hosting us for this address, and also for hosting us for the celebration this afternoon of the 21st Century Scholars Program, the 30th anniversary, which has been hugely successful. As you know, kids in the 7th and 8th grade sign up for the 21st Century Scholars Program, and if they meet certain commitments, then they get free tuition in college. And it's had an impact on over 40,000 kids over the last 30 years. I'd like to ask those who are here who were participants in this program to please stand and be appropriately recognized. I know this gentleman here is one of them. Who else? Let me also thank Ball State for providing refreshments after the speech today, which we very much appreciate, and I hope everyone will stick around and enjoy. And now it's my honor to introduce Teresa Lubbers, which means I need to say positive things about her. Try. So the good news is I could talk forever about what a positive impact Teresa's had on our state. You know, she's been in public service for 30 years, and I can honestly say she's had as big an impact on our state over the last 30 years as anyone in our state, and particularly in the area of education. Her first 18 years, she was a state senator, and she is the person most responsible for our charter school system here in Indiana, which happens to be one of the most successful in the country. And since she's been the Commissioner of Higher Education since '09, she's had a huge impact on our schools of higher education. And if you look at the statistics, which we look at every year on the Commission, she's had a hugely positive impact on the improvements, dramatic improvements of our schools of higher ed. And she's particularly done it through performance funding, which she is so committed to, and the schools have been so cooperative in working with the Commission on performance funding. Now, you know, Teresa is recognized as such a great leader that the legislature and the governor are always giving her new responsibilities. And her most recent one is she was appointed by the governor as the chair of the Workforce Cabinet, which is a huge honor for her, but is a huge benefit for us for her to lead that Workforce Cabinet, which covers not only higher ed, but K through 12 and workforce training. So please join me in welcoming Teresa to the podium and thank her for the great job that she's done.
Thank you, Al, for that very generous introduction, but more importantly, for your service to the Commission, to the state, and to the nation. Your clear focus on opportunity for everyone, especially for those students who are most likely to be left behind, has really influenced the way we do our work at the Commission. You remind us, often, of the power of higher education to improve lives, but also of the need for innovation to ensure the life-improving benefits for those who pursue higher learning. Joining you in this important work are other members of the Commission for Higher Education, some of who are with us here today. Would Commission members please stand, or former Commission members please stand and be recognized for the service you provide to our students and the state. Others who are critical to the Commission's success are here today as well, including policymakers, students, employers, college partners, and community leaders. We're grateful for these partnerships and your engagement in the development of Indiana's new strategic plan for higher education, a plan that is really focused on the alignment from early childhood education through lifelong learning. As we gather today to consider the state of higher education in Indiana, we're reminded of an often used phrase, but which is consistently true. The only thing that is certain is change. That saying is unequivocally true about higher education as we enter a new decade that will be marked by dramatic demographic, economic, and technological changes. Indiana's students are increasingly diverse and more coming from low-income families. While in the past, we all know that those with a high school diploma really fueled Indiana's economy, we now find ourselves in an environment where education beyond high school is essential to economic mobility. Indiana's race for talent is shaped by these evolving economic and technological advancements, factors that are at work in other states as well. How Indiana tackles these challenges will move us forward or leave us behind in this new decade. In that spirit, the Commission's new plan seeks to align these realities with strategies that build a stronger state through a more responsive higher education system. The plan's title, Reaching Higher in a State of Change, is meant to address both the changes that are taking place in our state and the changes that are taking place in higher education, and they are inextricably linked. Organized around 3 action priorities and 5 strategies, we bring these elements together through the stories of people who changed their lives through new educational journeys. Their successes contribute to Indiana's big goal that at least 60% of Hoosiers would have a quality credential beyond high school by 2025. And this strategic plan will be our blueprint to get there. Let's start with the 3 action priorities: completion, equity, and talent. Considered separately, each one is essential to ensuring higher education is preparing Hoosiers for constant change. Considered collectively, they provide a pathway for a stronger Indiana economy and a better quality of life for more Hoosiers. The call to increase student completion rates has been a foundational goal for the Commission and was central in our previous 3 strategic plans as well. But not surprisingly, there are new dimensions to the imperative to improve completion. No longer can we assume that a singular credential is tied to lifetime success. The new economy will demand educational upgrades throughout life, and higher education must be more agile and relevant to meet this need. New avenues for completion, multiple credentials, and different delivery modes, as well as a more diverse higher education consumer base, provides additional ways for us to reach that big goal of 60% of Hoosiers having those credentials. When learners complete meaningful and quality credentials, the state benefits as the individual benefits. Tiffany Steele's story is an example of how relevance in learning increases the value of an educational pathway and the likelihood of completion. As a young girl, she spent much of her childhood visiting her father in a nursing home. He was injured in a car accident that occurred when she was a baby. She gained a love for the residents and admired the nurses who cared for them. Being around the nurses made me want to make a difference in the lives of others, Tiffany said. And at 18, she started out as a certified nursing assistant and moved up to be a qualified medical assistant. But she wanted to continue her education. Using state financial aid, she earned her licensed practical nurse certificate without any debt. She has plans to continue her education and become a registered nurse. Tiffany's completion journey shows the power of personal aspiration and persistence, and the importance of ensuring the stackability of credentials gained along the way. Tiffany is here with us today, I believe, Would you please join me in thanking her for making a difference in the lives of those she cares for and for her determination to get the education she needed to do this important work. While we remain sharply focused on college completion, we also know gaining a credential of value is necessary for all Hoosiers, not some. Life's circumstances or obstacles should not dictate the opportunities to succeed, and that's what we mean by equity in reaching higher in a state of change. All learners deserve access to higher education opportunities and the support needed to ensure success. The Commission's Equity Report, the first of its kind in the nation, includes information on socioeconomic status, race and ethnicity, along with gender and geography. But our strategic plan goes even further and includes populations that reflect the demographics of our state, including veteran status, those with disabilities, foster youth, incarcerated Hoosiers, the unemployed, and residents of rural communities. Also of primary importance will be reaching the growing population of adult learners who must gain the skills necessary in this new economy. There's good news on this front. Nearly 11,000 Hoosiers are realizing the benefits of skilling up or changing careers by completing a tuition-free quality credential with a Workforce Ready grant. These numbers continue to grow, but we must drive these completion gains for all populations. We know for many first-generation students, especially from underrepresented populations, it's not enough for the government to offer programs. It's critical for us to partner with community organizations, churches, and families to knit our goals into the cultures of our state. One example of how we're trying to do this is the recent creation of Padres Estrellas, or Star Parents, which we launched at the end of last year. This initiative reaches into Indiana's Latino communities to increase higher education access and attainment for students and families. Padres Estrellas identifies stellar parents who are already active in their communities and have effective community networks to work with local schools and organizations focused on empowering Indiana's Latino community. These Star Parents will be personal ambassadors to help students and families enroll in the 21st Century Scholars Program and to know about the Next Level Jobs Workforce Ready grant. We invited these Star Parents to join us today. Help me recognize them for the very important work they're doing in their communities. They're here somewhere. There they are. Yes, thank you. As Al mentioned, 2020 marks the 30th anniversary of the 21st Century Scholars Program. This is Indiana's promise to students that college is affordable and attainable if they prepare and commit to a Scholar Success Program in high school. Throughout the year, we will be shining a light on the difference this program is making in the lives of low-income students in our state. Senate and House members have been highly supportive of the 21st Century Scholars Program, and today they honored the program with resolutions in both chambers. Scholars and alumni met with legislators to share their stories and the return on investment in their lives. While there is no one way to guarantee equity in higher education, the Scholars Program comes as close as we can to an answer. 86% of scholars who meet the high school requirements are attending college. This is more than 20% higher than the overall college-going rate. And by every measure of college success, scholars are exceeding their low-income, non-scholars peers. I am certain that when Governor Bayh and Stan Jones envisioned this program, they would not have thought that those numbers would be as good as they are, but I know that they would be delighted that they are. James Yates, who's with us today, understands this very well. In his words, due to my participation in the 21st Century Scholars Program, behind me is infinite power, before me is endless possibility, and around me is boundless opportunity. Raised in South Bend, James has strong professional and personal goals. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in biology and ecology in 2010. He earned 5 certifications throughout his early career and is now pursuing a master's degree. James is on his way to meeting his career aspirations to practice medicine in an underserved urban community as a physician's assistant. He and his wife launched the Yates Family Project in 2016 to provide service to underprivileged groups in their community. Clearly, James understands the value of the 21st Century Scholars Program. It changed his life, and he is now working to improve the lives of those around him. James, please stand and let us acknowledge your educational journey and contributions to our state. The third priority of the strategic plan, talent, is about developing and unleashing human potential to drive the state's workforce and economy. Measured by Indiana's College Value Index, we know that higher education has both qualitative and quantitative value. Higher levels of education are associated with more economic security and provide a solid foundation for overall well-being. But we also know that Indiana's economy demands well-prepared, agile learners, the kind of well-rounded, creative thinkers that post-secondary experiences should provide. Measuring talent is taking on new dimensions too. It's not enough to produce more degrees and credentials. We must do a better job ensuring the competencies students have acquired by attaining those credentials. And Indiana is leading in this regard, bringing together higher education leaders, employers, and community organizations to better connect learning and the application of learning. And we have set a bold goal to make career relevance and work-based learning a part of every post-secondary program. An internship provides the opportunity to learn and grow. Cameron Utter understood the benefit of an internship, but had a hard time finding a good fit. None of the psychology internships he pursued for his major were paid. He moved into a different pathway and accepted an internship at Indianapolis-based Quest Safety Products. The good news is that Cameron qualified for Indiana's work-study program, EARN, and his employer received a 50% match from the state for his salary. During his first of 3 total internships, he helped set up the company's internship program, which he now runs as the company's e-commerce sales manager. He changed his course, but he still relies on his psychology education. It's amazing to me how much my psychology background has benefited me in the business world. In getting the most out of an internship, he said, it's not just having the internship on the resume or earning the course credit, it's about having the work experience. Today, he's pursuing a master's degree in business administration and helping to guide other interns in their future pursuits. Cameron was unable to be here with us today, but I would like us to recognize both Cameron and his boss and mentor, Sam Yadav, who is president and CEO of Quest Safety Products. Join me in acknowledging both Cameron and Sam and their understanding of the importance of quality internships and the ability to adapt and learn in the classroom and on the job. Thank you to Tiffany, James, and Cameron for allowing us to share your stories. We're inspired by your commitment to education, and this influences the way we do the work at our commission every day. Reaching higher in a state of change provides the vision we need to get to our goals by 2025. But there are 2 important pieces I have yet to outline: how we will implement the plan and how we will track our progress. We have outlined key strategies and policies in what we are calling our Blueprint for Change. They're aggressive, but they're essential to our success. These strategies have been selected to support our priorities of quality, affordability, community engagement, finding the right fit for every learner, and strengthening the educator pipeline. But our strategies must be measured regularly using the metrics that matter most. Developed in coordination with Hoosiers throughout the state, our commission members unanimously endorsed 3 key metrics. Our first metric centers on the state's progress toward the 60% attainment goal. We will assess and measure college going rate, on-time and extended completion rates, the completion rates of our adult learners, as well as the progress we're making to close the achievement gap. Our second metric highlights relevance in career coursework and to how we can increase the student success and the likelihood that students graduate prepared for meaningful careers. Redesigning academic programs to include preparation in all post-secondary programs, including internships, research projects, and work-based learning options that offer career relevance will be key to this measurement. Some programs have long required work requirements, teaching, engineering, and the Commission is advocating that all should, and that this benefit should be available to all students, including those who pursue a liberal arts degree. Speaking of relevance, how is our progress toward these first 2 metrics impacting the daily life of Hoosiers? A third goal is to increase median household income to at least the average of Midwestern states. Moving the needle on this metric, which measures personal well-being, will not be easy, and our progress won't be reflected overnight. And while there are many factors that influence this economic metric other than educational attainment, market factors, demographic and population shifts, we must focus on those things we can impact. These are ambitious goals, but they're the right ones for Hoosiers and our state. And we know that the Commission cannot reach these goals alone. So we need strong partners inside state government and our institutions, along with employers and community leaders. One new partner whose work complements ours is the Governor's Workforce Cabinet. Like the Commission, the Governor's Workforce Cabinet is committed to meeting Hoosiers where they are and helping them move forward. With that in mind, the Cabinet is pivoting our state approach to government service away from programs and agencies to focus more on the people we all serve. So whether a person walks into a Work One office, through the doors of their local Family and Social Services Administration office, or on a college campus, they have access to the resources they need to improve their lives and circumstances. And this includes a personalized pathway through post-secondary education to a better job and a more secure future. Recently, a Hoosier by the name of Jose Gomez Marquez shared his powerful story through the Ivy Tech community blog about his journey of coming to this country and specifically to Indiana. Jose authored a poem chronicling his path and how his dreams for a better life and the encouragement of his children moved him to pursue a next-level job certificate. I was moved by his words and wanted to share an excerpt from a poem he entitled "Virtual Reality Becomes Reality." Stuck in a dead-end job, no light at the end of the tunnel, aspirations, creativity stifled, a dump truck full of ambition poured through a small plastic funnel. My time and my sweat daily wrung from me, hardly a moment, a drop left for my family. Is this why I left Peru to live in a snowy city? And then an ad comes my way, by heavily algorithm sent. Level up your job with Next Level. See, your tax dollars are well spent. I'm nervous, I'm worried. Can I handle work, school, more stress? My kids push me forward towards the goal. I say maybe, they chorus yes. Distance learning is the key. The internet is my friend. My mind catches fire, though my posture suffers, hours with a book and a laptop I spend. The pieces fit together, good grades come my way, my confidence rises, I can finally put all my skills into play. Jose sort of said it all, and he completed his certificate in supply chain management and is continuing his education to attain an associate degree. His heartfelt words embody the dedication it takes for adults to skill themselves up and pursue a new pathway. The work that we are doing across the state is impacting real lives, real Hoosiers, Tiffany, James, Cameron, Jose, and so many others who are making the decision to pursue education and gain new skills to the betterment of their families, their communities, and their futures. And the Commission is getting straight to work, implementing its new strategic plan, putting action behind the words and the stories we've heard today. This year, the Commission is supporting legislation to make the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA, a requirement for all high school seniors. Over a third of high school seniors fail to file the FAFSA each year, and the students who are most in need of financial aid are the ones least likely to complete the FAFSA. The proposed bill includes reasonable opt-out provisions, and it will ensure more eligible students can access state and federal financial aid, whether it's for a short-term certificate or a 4-year degree. Additionally, this year, we will work to advocate more strongly for the value and benefit of early college credit in Indiana, particularly for dual credit. Students who earn college credit in high school that are aligned to their plans after graduation save time and money when they get to college. The Commission's priorities for the year include helping more students and families understand the benefit of early college credit and giving high school teachers and counselors better resources to help students navigate their options. We'll also take a closer look at best practices around student success. How can Indiana's campuses use data to identify students most at risk of struggling to complete? How can we use that information to target, support, and wraparound services that will help more students cross the finish line, even if life circumstances threaten to get in the way? And how can the Commission help scale the most innovative and promising strategies that will drive success for Hoosiers statewide? Finally, we'll keep score. Beginning this year, the Commission will release an annual report card highlighting progress on each of these 3 metrics that have been outlined in our plan, as well as the stories about the people and organizations that are helping us move the needle. Indiana and higher education are at a crossroads. It's a motto we're already known for, dating back to 1937, when Indiana designated Crossroads of America as the official state motto. Let's make it more than a motto. Let's commit to the kind of innovation that attacks the persistent challenges and new realities in higher education, and in demonstrably effective and creative ways. Let's make Indiana the hub for opportunity, economic growth, and personal well-being. The Commission is focused on creating a talent system that affords all Hoosiers the benefits associated with higher learning. Learning that can be attained in multiple ways to respond to the changing world of work. Indiana's willingness to embrace this new higher education compact with a collective sense of urgency and optimism will determine our state's readiness and prosperity for decades to come. Please join us in this noble mission. Thank you.
Well, as you can see, Teresa is not only